Hey Health Warriors, Nancy Smorch here, and today is Health Warrior Wednesday. Today I wanted to talk again about fats. I know I talked about them a couple weeks ago in terms of increasing the amount of fat in your diet as a way to crowd out some of the sugar, but today I wanted to talk more specifically about why we should increase fat to make you feel comfortable with it, and also what kinds of fat are good to add and which kinds of fats you should avoid. So let's talk about why we should eat more fats specifically. I know some of you are going to have a really hard time adding fat into your diet because we've been fed, literally, this dogma over the last several decades that if we eat fat, we're going to get fat, and if we eat fat, we're going to have heart disease, and if we eat fat, we're going to have high cholesterol. Well, none of that is true. It's like so far from the truth. And unfortunately, that has been like ingrained into our subconscious mind. So for some of us, it's going to be really hard to overcome that belief. I know it's been hard in our family to feel safe eating fat. But eating fat is not only safe, it is necessary. I mean, you can look at the state of the health of the American population and you can see how eating a low-fat diet has fared. I mean, we're fatter and more unhealthy than we've ever been in history. So don't just take my word for it and the studies' words for it, because studies can show this one day and it can show something else another day. Take 30 days and try it out for yourself and see what adding good quality fats into your diet can do. Actually, good fats are going to help with your brain because your brain is made up of 60% fat. So it's going to help you think more clearly. It's going to give you more energy. You're going to be able to burn energy more effectively with fat. By not eating as much sugar, you're not going to be releasing as much insulin because sugar and carbs spike your insulin level, and insulin is actually a fat-storing hormone. So the whole concept of less fat, more carbs is actually, when you eat more carbs, again, you're releasing insulin, and insulin stores fat in your body. So it just doesn't make sense. The other whole dogma that we have to overcome is that equation of calories in equals calories out. If I burn more calories and eat less calories, I'm going to lose weight. Well, that just doesn't work because, calories are not equal, and fat calories act totally different, or I don't even want to say fat calories, but fat molecules act totally different in your body than carbohydrate molecules than protein molecules. So you can't look at that equation, and just think that by exercising more and cutting back on your calories that you're going to lose weight. You can actually add a lot more calories, fat calories, and you'll find that you can lose weight by just doing that alone and cutting back on the carbs. So you want, people say to add more fat now. What are the good fats? Well, good fats are like seeds and nuts. Chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, nuts, almonds, pecans, walnuts, cashews, macadamia nuts, avocados, coconut oil, coconut butter, coconut milk, olive oil, grass-fed meats, and chicken raised, not pasture raised, but cage-free, no antibiotics, good quality meats, whole eggs, not just egg whites. You need the yolks also, the fat, good fat in the yolks, and butter. Those are all good fats to start incorporating in your diet. Now, some of the bad fats that you should avoid are the processed oils like the corn oil, soy oil, and safflower or sunflower oil. Those are all oils that have been added to our diet in the past, 100 years or so, and our bodies just aren't used to them. And a lot of times, the quality of the seeds that they were made out of is just not good. So those try not to eat too much of. The ones that you should definitely avoid are the trans fats or the hydrogenated fats. Avoid them at all costs. Read the labels. Make sure there are none of them in the food that you're eating. And those are things like margarine. Margarine you just shouldn't eat. Crisco and other fats that are made to be a solid in room temperature when they're not supposed to be as a way to prolong their shelf life. Not good stuff. So butter, I know butter I mentioned is a good fat to add into your diet, but don't add it in unless you're eating a good quality butter. And what do I mean by that? A butter that has come from cows that are grass-fed and pasture-raised. The reason I say that is because fat stores toxins and chemicals. And so if you're getting your butter from a cow that has been fed processed foods that are laden with chemicals and pesticides, and the cow has been fed antibiotics and hormones, those toxins are going to be stored in the fat of that cow, the meat, and the butter, and then you're going to be ingesting that. And then your fat is going to store those toxins, and that's not good. So don't eat any butter unless it's going to be a good quality butter. So I just wanted to throw that in there. Don't go and pick up, any old brand of butter that's from a factory farm and put that in your coffee or on your vegetables. Good quality butter. So I hope this helps you kind of eliminate some of the fear that you have of eating fat and builds up enough evidence to support why you need to eat fat. So now it's up to you if you want to take the challenge by adding more fat into your diet and just keeping track of how much you eat. And how you're feeling, any differences that you might notice, any weight shifts, any energy shifts, any mental shifts. And while you're doing this again, adding more fat in, remember to cut back on the sugar and the carbohydrates. Let me know how it works for you, and we will see you next week on Health Warrior Wednesday.